mutton busting, line dancing, and trapeze, y'all. This is the Total Divas After Show. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Wait for it. It's the last time that we're going to hear some random song at the beginning of our show. That's okay. Hey, everybody, and
That's
welcome
Asuka's
to
music.
the AFTERBUZZ TV Total Divas After Show. That's Asuka's music.
Yeah.
Okay. Asuka,
That was
not a total
because
diva,
Bill's
but
here.
that's okay.
It's because Bill's
We
here.
got it for Bill. We do have a special guest tonight, and we are going to get to all of that, breaking down Season 6, Episode 6, Too Many Cooks. Thank you all for joining us live on YouTube. I do have the live chat rolling. Can't wait to hear what y'all thought about this one. And we are on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. We'd love a 5-star rating. Please give us a little thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. We want to hear what you think about the show. This is our last one of the year, and we're excited to be here. My name is Christy Olson. You guys can always hit me up at Christy Reports. And a very special panelist tonight. I've been trying to get this guy. We have Bill Hanstock from the NXT AFTERBUZZ After Show. He also writes really, really fun Total Divas recaps for Uprock. So, welcome.
That's very nice of you. No, I've been dying to be, honestly, true story. The reason I got involved with AFTERBUZZ is because I was hoping to co-host the Total Divas After Show.
Wow.
Yes.
I met Kathy and Mark and I knew Johnny and Dale. And I was like, do you guys need somebody for the Total Divas After Show? And they're like, maybe. And then I got brought in to do Raw and NXT, and then I ended up staying on NXT. So I'm glad I'm finally at this table.
Yay.
This is what I was meant to do.
Welcome. This is your holiday gift,
So you can,
AFTERBUZZ.
you can
Total
follow
Divas
me
fans.
on Twitter at Sundown Motel.
And please do that. Lots of good stuff. Also back this evening, Miss Megan Stecher.
Hi guys, tweet me, follow me at Megan Stecher.
Loving it. Rocking her Brie mode flannel tonight.
Yeah, I'm very warm, but I'm gonna keep it on for Brie.
We'll be all right. Well, it's probably hot because you're sitting next to this guy in a real sexy Christmas sweater.
It's because of this lovely snowflake turtleneck I have on.
Yes, tell us about it, Jimbo Slice.
Oh, follow me on Twitter at Jimbo in the Booth. I got Christmas lights. I got a sweater of a penguin wearing a sweater.
Yeah. It's like the
You
inception of
just
sweaters.
listening. Yes. Oh man. I
James
wish.
is our own personal Yule log.
Yeah,
He
I
really is.
heard.
Yeah.
He's been giving out gifts all week.
Fire it up.
I know, thank
What?
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Spilled the beans on that one. Well, there was some spilling of the beans tonight at that cooking class with the, what were they? The Delicious Divas?
The Double
Deli-
Ds.
Double
Double
Ds.
Ds.
That's all that
Oh,
matters.
is that?
they
I
were
missed that. I
Double
was like,
Ds.
say double D on her apron. It's like, oh man, that's not subtle.
I just got
Ellie
that
probably
it was
made those
called
herself.
Too many cooks in the
Yeah.
kitchen. That's why.
Like, this episode's called Too Many Cooks, but that's pretty inaccurate because it just should have been called Too Many Natties.
Too many natties, and also lots of Marine 5 action we saw tonight, which is really cool. We knew that the ladies were going to be part of this, and it was fun to see them behind the scenes. The episode opens up with Naomi and Trinity in her trailer with Heath Slater and Curtis Axel, and Heath kind of tries to talk her through this. She's nervous. This is her first film. Totally understandable, right?
Of course.
100%.
I've been really enjoying how, like, every subsequent week since that first, like, Naomi getting the role in the film and it being such a huge deal, like, every subsequent week you just find out, like, oh, also everyone else is in it, too.
Yeah. I was like,
Just more and more people.
is that Bo Dallas?
She's finally getting her attention for once.
Next week we're going to find out Ginny's in it.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
In her defense,
And it was all Natty's doing.
I gotta say, in her defense, it's gotta be crazy to go from I'm a wrestler, I know the wrestling world, and all of a sudden they're throwing you in a movie trailer, and she's probably thinking like, oh my God, like this is what real big movie stars do, and I'm completely unprepared for this. I'm not an actress. I am in a way, but I don't know how to act on film. It's like a whole different medium where it's a lot of close-ups on your face, and everything's supposed to be a little smaller as far as reactions, and I'm sure she's a perfectionist, and that's why she's so nervous.
Yeah. Well, in a lot of ways, it's the complete opposite of acting for
Wrestling, yeah.
Because you're playing to the back row and you're playing
Yeah.
to everyone on TV.
It's so
and you're playing to
physical.
the whole arena,
Yeah.
as opposed to like you're playing just to this camera right here, like right now, and we'll make the performance all come together later on, months later.
and you're not hearing anything that's going on at the scene. You're hearing like PAs and people tell you.
You're
what
not
to
even
do.
acting with the other person.
Right.
It's all green screen. We'll fix that in post.
Our chat roll's chiming in a little bit. They pointed out that this is the first time we've seen Natty and the family at the house this season, and very glaring omission of TJ from these scenes.
We miss you, TJ.
I think I said like in a previous episode, like I think TJ wanted out because they would use him in storylines that weren't super flattering.
According to TJ, it wasn't his choice to not be.
Oh yeah, that was another one you missed the first week. Lots of news and gossip that first week, Meg. I'll have to fill you in. But yeah, so he said on Twitter, he answered a fan on Twitter, and he said, WWE took me off the show. They don't want my story told. That's what he alleged. WWE released a statement and said, we just chose to focus on the new cast members and their significant others who are currently on the roster. So it's a little sassy on both sides.
That's a shame.
Really
because
is.
because everyone's relationships are in it this year except for hers. That's not fair.
It is. I understand it. I mean, I certainly understand it from like WWE's like PR point of view, but like, it's such a bummer because he came really close to dying, and now his career is like definitely over. So it's like that's such a bummer. Like, you know,
We can
Brian,
have two of those.
Brian was like dealing with like, yeah, exactly. Like Brian was going through that himself, but at least Brian's still like back on WWE television now, so people know that like there's a happy ending to that story.
Yeah, and people got to see him win the titles and go to the WrestleManias and headline the shows and are like, oh man, it really sucks all that got taken away from you. TJ was like barely there winning the tag titles and was like kind of getting mentioned, and then it was just all gone.
But also, like, as crummy as it sounds, you don't want TJ's storyline to like undermine Daniel Bryan's storyline on this season.
That's
it's
true.
like Daniel's going, like, Bryan was going through some really horrible stuff on Total Bellas, but like at the same time, like, you can cut to someone else who's like, I came like super like I came a hair's breadth from dying. Like it's too much stuff for. It's too much stuff to have alongside, like, which one of the twins is dumber?
No, we gotta talk about mutton busting.
Yeah.
Lawn dancing. Well, let's talk about what's going on with Nikki and Brie. This starts off with wondering whose dog is smarter, which is about the cutest thing. I know I'm one of those people who always says, I swear my dog is a genius. I know he is. I don't need to throw a blanket over his head to test it. But they get all on this who is smarter kick. Meanwhile, Lana and Rusev are showing their Nashville love. They've been in Nashville for probably about a year or two at this point, right? Been living there, and they seem to have assimilated very well. That isn't where they were country line dancing, but they love to line dance, and Lana talks about Rusev loving kind of America. He does this accent. This is a surprise that Rusev can get that into something that's so Americanized.
Well, it's so adorable and fun that like he considers himself like a Nashvilleian. Like of all the things in like America, that Rusev's like, no, I love Nashville. This is great.
Right.
It's like Son-in-Law when Pauly Shore shows up and he's like, I need new threads, man.
It's exactly like Son-in-Law.
Imagine that. They should remake that with Rusev.
Rusev's accent cracked me up in that scene. That's all I have to say.
I mean, how long till we'd be seeing him in a WWE film?
Oh,
He's already been in a
one by now.
WWE film. Countdown with Dolph Ziggler.
With Ziggler.
He has a gun and
Look at
gets
him.
super kicked away from him.
Oh, that's Nikki's ex, y'all.
It was nice
You
to
may
see
wanna
him
pick that one
tonight.
out.
Pop in for a sec.
Yeah.
I
love
like
when
seeing him. I have a little crush on him.
I love when he was like, I get to wear the Daisy Dukes. That's so great.
Well, Maurice and Trinity are on set, and Trinity has these Post-its everywhere in the wall. I'm not an actress, but I've never seen anything like that. It seems like she's taking a very methodical approach, and really just what we understand from this is how seriously she's taking it. She's not one of these creative people I show up and get in character by going out to a bar and pretending to be a badass for the night. She's really studying her craft. Isn't it refreshing to see how seriously she's taking this?
Sure.
I think she's being so tough on herself, though, because she's literally written down every note a director has given her as far as, like, don't let your mouth hang open, do this, do that. I mean, and the ones we see on the wall are apparently nothing in comparison to what's going on at the hotel room. So I feel bad that she's beating herself up so much. She's got to give herself some credit.
Absolutely.
They picked her, so she's got to be, you know, I feel like they believe in her.
Yeah, well, and Maurice is trying to help a little bit. What was surprising to me in this scene was that they said they don't really know each other that well, or they haven't had a lot of time to spend together. They're two of the ladies that have been around the longest. Maurice, of course, was away for a few years, but I was surprised that back in the day, these two didn't kind of bond over
Naomi like really came in like when Maurice left. Like she was.
Oh, am I thinking wrong?
When Maurice was on the main roster last, I think Naomi may have just started or not even started yet in Florida.
Because, when Maurice
The Funkadactyls
left
came in
WWE,
after Maurice was gone.
You're right, because when Maurice left, she immediately launched a jewelry line.
Yeah.
And at the red carpet for her jewelry line, the Funkadactyls showed up. So I just always thought that they were friends, but that makes more sense.
Yeah. Maybe she's friends with Ariane.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be.
Girl,
Because they
bye.
are, and they both live in LA. So that could be mystery solved. Well,
They
Natty.
both have little dogs.
They do, they are cute. Glitty. Hey, what's up? Shout out, Glitty.
I love how nonchalant she was with the prop knife. It was literally like a toy. She's like combing her hair with it. She's like digging it into her forehead. I just don't know.
Are we also like not going to talk about like the fact that she's like this badass like CIA mercenary or whatever? That she wears like a barbed wire like
Studded bra
thing.
I thought it
was
looked
hot.
awesome.
It was awesome, but it's just like one of those
like
silly like
metal
action
fringe.
things or,
Is she
like-
undercover in the biker gang?
Oh,
Is
maybe
that the
yeah,
idea?
that might be it. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Either way, she looks good. She looks good. Meanwhile, what is going on with Natty and Jenny? Well, we haven't seen Jenny in a while, and her past storylines have sort of included having a few glasses of wine, getting flirty with Big E. She's
Hot
just
tub.
involved, hot tubbing it with Big E. She's just kind of involved in the hijinks. But we learned that she moved to Tampa, right? From Canada to kind of be with the family. I know mom and dad are living there now too. And that she's gone through some trouble since then. She hasn't been able to get a job. She's gone through some bad relationships. Jenny seems like the kind of girl to me who is very into her romantic life, who that makes a lot of difference to her in her life. If she's dating someone, she's happy. Maybe if she's not, then she's not happy. Do you guys sense that too?
100%. That's all I could think about when I was watching her like fall apart. She reminds me of the girl that like just wants to be married, and that would be like her whole life was made. She just wants to give someone her all and cook for them and just raise a family. And I feel like she's probably the girl that dives in head first and it scares the guy off and it spins out of control a little quickly. And maybe that's why she's not settled down. And it I feel like we're seeing some things where she shouldn't be drinking. They cut the camera off tonight. So I'm wondering if that's also an issue in her life that's kind of, we see it a little bit on the show, but maybe it's a lot bigger of a problem.
So do we think that these cooking classes are a good idea?
Well, I mean, maybe, but it seemed like everything else that Natty gets involved in. So she's like, or Jenny's like, yeah, I've been like looking for some work, and Natty's like, you need to do something you're passionate about. Why don't you host a cooking class out of my house? Like, okay, like, because Jenny like seems like just a normal person who like a normal person who like has like things that they have to work through and like has like personal fears and hopes and dreams, and Natty is Natty, so like there's definitely a conflict there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
I wonder if there's any like issues with her not following in the family business, and
doubt
if
it.
she feels like, oh, well, Natty is a star, and Natty's on TV, and I wouldn't be anything without Natty, and why she had
Well,
her
she talked
breakdown,
about
like,
that later on. Yeah.
Like, well, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be anything. But it's really like, well, like your dad was famous before she was famous. You just like hitched
No,
to
what
her.
I got was like because of what happens later with Natty like pays everyone to be at her thing
Which
that
Titus
she
O'Neil got
suggested
the
like
short end of the stick
that
on that.
Jenny says that Natty made Jenny feel like she wouldn't be anything without Natty because Natty set this all up and then she paid everyone to be there, so like that. Because Natty can never understand anything that like normal humans go through, like she had to explain to her, Natty, when you did this is what it made me feel like because of these things. And then Natty's like, have you been drinking?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever you just said, you've been drinking too much.
Like Natty's one to talk. Jessica in the chat just reminded me that Jenny moved to Florida to help TJ out while Natty was on the road. I had forgotten about that. So that's an important factor here as well, most certainly. And they're putting up some flyers. They are bound and determined to get some people into this class. She asked if Dolph Ziggler wants to come, and hey, if it's nothing sexual, he's not interested.
out.
He's only there to show off.
I
We
thought
all
it was
know.
really cool that it seemed when she got that call backstage, Cesaro was like right there for her, and I was like, oh, it seems like he's her go-to when TJ's obviously not on the road now, but they were so connected that she can still have someone to go to and have that person there.
Well, Cesaro's her brother husband.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the perfect way to put it.
I love it.
Tell us more good stuff, Bill.
Okay.
I like people that are so zen that they can pull you out of like a hysterical breakdown. She was like really losing it, and Natty's always the strong one in the family. Natty's always the one holding everyone down, the glue, and I mean everyone in her family seems a little loopy, and she's like so hardcore and like keeping it together, running the show, and to see him be like, let's calm down. You can't fix this, so let's accept that, and then let's think about what you can control, or maybe what you can't. You know, I love people that can calm you down, and people that are always chill and are able to offer that advice are like, I need more of them in my life.
Right? Someone who could stabilize Jenny.
Yeah.
If he had been with Jenny.
Sure.
But he wasn't. Let's talk about this cooking class that went down. They've got everybody over. There was a lot more WWE stars there than I anticipated. We've got to remember that these people are freaking busy. And they don't all live here. And I just don't know how they convinced them all to spend their time shooting this show.
I don't know how busy Fandango is.
Well, everyone who was there lives in Tampa.
Right.
And they all are on, at least the time this was filmed, they're all on the same schedule. So they all have the same days at home.
They did say it was a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, they were all there, including Big E, who we never really got the wrap-up on him and Jenny's. There was 2 different situations where we saw them. It seemed like time had passed between. Now time had passed again. But they seemed happy to see each other.
Yeah. Jenny seemed real happy to see him.
Exactly. So what do you pick up on from Big E?
He's the best, and they should, like, live together forever, and their smush name should be Big Innie.
But do you think he's into her?
Well, he was sexting her later, so yeah.
That's true. Okay.
I think Big E is one of those people who's like massively busy. Like James was talking about, like he definitely is on the road all the time. Especially because New Day is so popular and they're doing so many things with different media and press and everything. So he's gone all the time. So it was probably, I'm just extrapolating here, but it's probably a situation where like there was probably some mutual interest there, but it didn't work out because of timing. Maybe she wasn't fully moved to America at that time. He was just on the road too much, and it was just like, oh, we dated a couple times, but I'm busy all the time.
Yeah. And
then they see each other. She's obviously extremely happy to see him, and then he's like sliding into those DMs. And so maybe I am hoping so hard
For those
that
two?
they keep this romance going.
Well, you know, another factor might be, I remember the last time he was on, Natty said something to Jenny like, oh, he doesn't want to touch you in front of Daddy, or something like that. And maybe it has to do with Big E's not as used to the cameras being around as everyone else, and maybe he's just uncomfortable kind of showing that affection.
Also not used to Jim Neidhart being around when he's trying to get his Mac on.
That too. So the beans get spilled at the cooking class. Someone...
Aubergines get spilled.
Aubergines, now we all know. Alert the Bella twins in case that comes up again later in conversation.
Funny moments.
They would think that they were types of jeans.
I think you're probably right.
like skinny jeans
Like
or
skinny
jeggings. No.
They're like jeans that go over the other jeans.
Aubergines, yes. Well, the beans get spilled. They've all been paid $250 to be there. Well, not all of them.
Well,
the
not all.
stars who should
So
be paid.
let's break this down. When they were tossing this idea around, and Natty's like, "Oh, we could charge like $500 a person," and Jenny's like, "No, you don't want to. Fans will just sign up so they could come hang out in your house." And I'm like, "Yeah, people would. And if you could get $500 a head,
For sure.
why not do that on a Thursday? That'd be great." So if like Titus got 100 and he brought both of his kids, like just for that 100, and then other people are getting 250.
Randoms?
Yeah, randoms.
Wasn't that like her contractor's like daughter or wife or
It was
something?
funny too
Yes.
because one of them, it was like Natty's contract, and that was his lower third.
Yeah.
It was so, and he had the headband on. Oh, that's good.
Oh, this was good. Well, Jenny's not happy when she finds out that everyone's been paid to be there, and I felt a little bad for her at this point. But this is
super
classic
bad.
Natty
Yeah.
hijinks.
Who says that though? Honestly, who throws that out? Like, wait,
Someone who was
so
told
if
by
we
a
come
producer?
back,
Yeah.
do we?
No,
get
it was
paid
totally
again?
real. It was a totally real human interaction that someone had. Like how Lana totally accidentally threw that shot put into that
Into the
one car
that just
parked.
happened to be parked in the middle of.
Nothing fake happens on this show, everyone. That was a real
scripted.
human who was like,
It's not
I should
fake,
definitely
it's
ask about
scripted,
the.
Bill.
Yeah, no, I'm saying she definitely really was like, this is definitely the appropriate time to say that I was given an amount of money to be here.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, totally real.
Wow, we'll check back in with them in a little bit, but I was really interested in this IQ test that Nikki and Brie took.
Oh, I was on pins and needles all week ever since the first.
Ever since you saw the promo?
Ever since they said like they're gonna take an IQ test, I was like, I'm in. I'm only gonna be using the edge of my seat for the next week.
This is actually a big deal, and I'm excited they
It's a
actually did this
huge
because
deal.
Brian has not let up on them being not very smart since since the beginning of the show. So I was like, oh, let's break it out because they always use the wrong words,
Right.
and like he loves to make them not feel smart. And I was like, let's do it. Let's find out the hard facts. I'm ready.
But I was picturing like they're sitting in a classroom with a pencil
Yes.
Yeah.
and they're filling in
Yeah.
bubbles. I mean, I didn't even know that these kind of IQ tests exist because it just seems so subjective to me. Obviously,
Yeah.
this woman is a professional. She knew what she was doing. But were you guys taken aback by that too?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, IQ tests aren't really a thing once you're past like age 12. Like they're not really an indicator of like intelligence. Like intelligence quotient is specifically designed to measure how far ahead of the percentile that a child is.
Oh.
So once you get to a certain age and like your brain has stopped developing, IQ test doesn't really mean anything. That's why Brian was like, I found a doctor that will do this. Instead of like, oh yeah, you can just go get an IQ test.
Right.
Like, yeah. So like it does. So Nikki and Brie, you don't have to read too hard into these numbers, but yeah, no, I thought it was like totally awesome. I was overjoyed at how it all came together because my absolute favorite thing about Total Bellas and Total Divas is when they get into these completely asinine, banal arguments, and it even spilled over onto their episode of Ride Along when they couldn't remember what an odometer was called, and like Brie thought it was a spamometer,
Oh, wow.
and then Nikki read it as odometer. But my favorite argument they ever had was whether a seal is a fish.
Oh my God!
My
yes.
favorite Total Bellas moment of all time.
Goes for, oh, really? Mine is the vomiting on the.
That was very good. I made a gif of her barfing on Nikki's boob.
Yes, that's why you're here, Bill.
Anyone who was like questioning if Harry Potter was based on a true story.
Oh yeah, no, Nikki thought it was.
Probably-
Yeah.
I mean, thank God for Google because these girls Google everything in the car, and like it's a good thing.
I can't remember what, because there was one episode also where Brian made fun of, I think Nikki or Brie like put their wrong name on their SAT.
Oh
Did
yeah.
it break?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Or she
You
put
lost
the
like
wrong spaces
1,200
or
points because you
something.
didn't
Yeah,
write
yeah.
your name correctly
Yeah.
on your SAT.
Oh, Brie.
Has anyone here ever taken an IQ test?
I have not.
No.
I actually, maybe I did. As a little kid, I remember the teacher was like, Megan's really ahead in math in class. Have her take this test, and she might need like special classes for kids that are ahead or some
Gate.
BS. And
Gates,
then I
wow.
took the test with the school like counselor at elementary school, and I never like heard a word. And I was like, "Mommy, what happened? Am I gifted?" Like, cause like I'm calling it like gifted program.
Right.
And my mom's like, yeah, no. You did great. You did great, but you're not gifted. And like, it was so funny because I'm terrible at math now, so I don't know why I was doing well in math in kindergarten. But anyway, I maybe that was an IQ test. I remember it was like shapes, and it was like you would see a diagram, and it was like, can you make this diagram with these blocks in front of you? And that's all I remember.
Wow. I remember when Trinity and Maurice went to circus school. Shall we call it?
Yes.
There's some trapeze. They were doing that ribbon dancing there that I think is so
Ribbon
cool.
dancing.
Yeah, I think. Okay,
Aerial.
thank you.
I
was gonna
friend
say
who
that's the
does
late
it.
1980s
Yeah, same,
ribbon
yeah.
dancer way of saying
Yeah,
it.
my friend trains in it. Like she's trying to
a really
literally
good
get
workout.
into Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, oh yeah, she's crazy muscles in her back and shoulders and stuff.
Yeah, and I think this was the perfect thing for Trinity to do in this situation. She needed to relax, but do something that could make her confident. I mean, this was perfect. This was good. Great idea, Maurice.
Yes.
Oh, I agree.
My only question is why did Maurice? I mean, yeah, why did she have to vom afterward?
That was unclear to me as well.
It must be like
the
as
motion?
I am a woman of a particular age. I feel like I get really nauseous really easy, and I get motion sickness really easy now. So I wonder if it just threw her off her equilibrium, and she all of a sudden
Going
was,
from the trapeze to the car.
yeah, like very
yeah.
nauseous.
But it seemed more like, like sometimes you just like, need water really bad and you don't realize it until you like, you're like
I thought she was gonna throw up on the car window.
I thought so too.
Couldn't get it down.
Well, what was really hilarious to me was like she's like, I'm gonna vomit, and then like she starts like acting like she needs to pull the car over or whatever, and Trinity's like in the back, and I thought she was just like, I gotta get away from potential vomit, but she was getting water like a good friend.
But she also just kept driving, like there was no attempt at pulling over.
I need to vomit.
Gangster. Maurice is gangster. I love her.
There's no place to pull over in Vancouver.
I hate heights. But I totally would do this.
Yeah.
So when she was
Well, if
like,
you're in a harness,
when she was like, oh, I'm scared of heights, it's like you got several things wrapped around you, and you're swinging from a swing. Like you're fine. And there's bouncy things below you. You're fine.
Chat Roll's pointing out that maybe Maurice had vertigo.
Oh, there you
Joseph
go.
says, yeah. Well, what are Rusev and Lana up to? We didn't see a whole lot of them on this episode.
What we
We
saw
saw his bicep.
packed a punch.
Exactly.
They condensed Rusev and Lana into like those 3 segments. I was so happy.
And they give us enough one-liners. Like, they both have enough
Yes.
personality that, not that I don't want more from them, but this was great. It's so cute, the themed photo shoot. And usually things like this seem like, oh, another photo shoot. But this was worth seeing.
So
Do we
great.
agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
And Renee was wrong. She said there's no overalls that would fit you, and he was shoved into some overalls.
She was very negative about Lana's theme,
Yeah.
and she came across not very nice about it, I
So
thought.
did Mark Carano. He
I
told her
just
to
said
get a
don't do
grip.
that. Yeah.
But Mark Carano's just there to be like, you suck, and then like leave.
He's
I
a truth
thought it
teller.
was hilarious, though.
Yeah.
That whole scene.
Yeah.
Renee's like, we just said don't do that.
Yeah. That was great.
I think they were just trying to get her to stop being carried away.
Sure.
Because they're already having 2 weddings.
Yeah.
So I think he was like, I
It
don't get
is-
the theme.
It, yeah,
Let's
it is
not
silly
go
that
there.
it's like, oh, we're having a Russian-Bulgarian wedding in Malibu,
Right.
so let's have a Nashville theme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it is
didn't
silly.
get it.
I
Doesn't
fit as
make
much
sense to
stuff
anyone.
in on
Yeah.
my wedding as I possibly could.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I totally understand.
But I really want the next spinoff to be Rusev and Lana.
Oh yeah,
I
with
can
his
see it
mom.
on
They live with her weird pastor dad.
Yeah.
Like,
Who pole dances?
yeah.
Yeah, no problem with
He
the
hurts his
pole dancing.
privates sometimes. It's
I
okay.
heard my privates.
That's no big deal. Well,
Ooh,
let's
my
talk
tally
about
whacker.
let's talk about Bree's. Let's take a moment from that, and then talk about Bree's bruised ego. How about
Nice
the
segue.
IQ tests come, and although they sort of collectively decide to do away with the results, and I was like, no! We've been having this conversation for how many seasons? It
Yeah.
needed to happen. Bree agreed because she took a little peek and Nikki caught her. Guys, 99 to 113 in favor of Nikki, and even more than that, Bree is in the 40th percentile and Nikki is in the 70th. Are these the results you expected?
No.
No, I thought it would be closer, but the percentile
Yeah.
was way out of control. I thought they would both be in the 50s, 60s range and pretty close together.
Well, because the way, like, again, going back to like the whole like this isn't for adults thing, like the thing about IQ is like 100 is supposed to be like you match your age, like you're as smart as your age.
Okay.
And, like below it is like your like substandard, and like above it is like for every number above it, it's like that's how far ahead of like your age knowledge
Average,
you are.
yeah.
Yeah. So like I like that Brian said that he still loves her. If he's just like, if he's just like, it's over, like walked away.
I can't anymore. That's
He'd
it.
probably be
Final
afraid,
bell and
like, what if
wonder.
he scores lower than Nikki? He'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah, Brian would never take it. He'd be like, I don't have to prove anything to you.
I was waiting for Bree to just hit, like, the mic drop moment and be like, yeah, well, I have a ring, and I'm going to have a baby, and I can still do the rack attack. And just walk away.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Well, let's go back to Megan. You mentioned a little while ago about how filming stopped in Natty and Jenny's conversation when Natty sort of said, hey, you've had a glass of wine. They shut it down. Jenny takes the whole thing wrong and misinterprets Natty's, trying to make her feel better as like, oh, without you, I'm nothing. And it is understandable to see why she would think that. But eventually she apologizes for her meltdown. Kind of seems to come out of nowhere. A little phone call. She's like, oh, I'm fine now. Why?
That's more proof that like Natty has just slowly been gaslighting Jenny her whole life. Like Natty wasn't trying to make Jenny feel better. Natty was like trying to like fix Jenny in her life.
That's true.
So like Natty was, in my opinion, Natty was completely out of line about everything that happened in this episode. Everything. And like Jenny called, and then like Natty was so wrong, and then refused to like acknowledge that she was wrong at all, and tried to turn it around further to be like, you have a drinking problem. And then Ginny calls her a couple days later to apologize, and it's like, what? No.
We don't.
That's me. That's
I
my
say a lot of
hang-ups
things
with
about
Natty.
Natty, and I don't usually say like manipulative, but that's almost a little.
You don't normally say that about Natty?
No, I think there's a lot of things you could say about her, but that's almost too calculate. I just don't think she's that calculated. I think she just does what Natty does.
Yes.
Right? And
Sociopaths are her
Like,
language.
she's not an evil genius. She's just that dumb, and it just works in her favor.
I mean,
Not dumb, just like the
Careless,
things,
maybe?
the things that Natty cares about in order are things that directly affect Natty right now. That's the end of the list.
And her cats.
And her
Yeah,
cats.
her cats sometimes.
Give Natty more credit than that.
Sure.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, give her a little more credit,
Yeah.
Meg. Do
I'm
you think
being-
Jenny's
I'm
going
being
to
way too
react?
negative.
Her last name is Hart. She's got a lot of heart. Back off, Natty.
Well, I think the only reason why Jenny's spirits were lifted at the end of all of this was just because,
Yeah,
again,
Big
you said
E's.
she
Yeah, I
has
was gonna
sex
say.
for Big E.
I was gonna say
My
Big
spirits
E's.
would be lifted if Big E was like, I can't take my eyes off your curves. I'd be like, hello, what's
I
up?
think his text was like, "Oh, Jenny."
Don't you dare be sour.
Jenny, them double D's got me all riled up,
Yeah.
didn't
Stand up
Did
and
you guys
clap.
notice it was 2 D's right on the breast
That's what I'm
of
saying.
every
That was
apron? Like,
it's not subtle.
But this doesn't bode well, I don't think, for Jenny, because that's another quick fix. And Natty was saying kind of the reason why she's feeling this way is because of a couple failed relationships. And we know, like you're saying, Biggie's busy. This isn't going to turn into anything. That makes me almost more concerned for her than that if she would have taken Natty's advice to heart or really tried to start kind of fixing herself. So I'm worried about what we're going to see from Jenny in the future, to be honest with you.
I am hopeful, and I hope that we see more of Big Innie and we get more of their relationship, and that they just keep making these connections.
But to take Natty's advice to heart would actually be to sit back and find something she's passionate about and go with that, and not just like let her sister tell her, you should do something you're passionate about, like cooking.
Right.
That's what you're passionate about. I'm
Right.
telling you you're passionate about cooking. Guess what? You're going to do a cooking
Exactly.
seminar in my
Yeah.
house because I said that's what you're going to do and that's what you're passionate about.
But
Let's go, Jenny.
Natty's such a forceful personality that it's very hard, especially when you've been looking up to your sister your whole life. It's very hard to not be like, well, okay, I'll try it and see where it goes. Like, I think Jenny needs like to create her own orbit that's separate from Natty for a little while.
Well, I mean, her dad lives in his own world. So.
Sure. Yeah.
I think Jenny should meet like a nice normal guy from Tampa, like construction worker, contractor, whatever,
One of the
whoever,
village
whatever
people.
job.
Normal guy. That was great.
Like a normal guy who's not in the business, who's not always traveling, and like
Cop,
settle
cowboy.
down. Yes,
Yeah.
settle down.
I
That's
think
what
that's a
Jenny needs. That's
fantastic
what Jenny
idea.
needs. Not all this up and down, up and down, up and down.
Jenny needs someone from the block, is what you're saying.
Yeah, somebody from the
Just
Tampa
making
block.
sure.
I love that. I love that. Well, let's go back to the Marine 5 set where Trinity finally is relaxed. She's feeling more confident. You can tell when she comes out on the motorcycle that she's kind of feeling herself. And I predicted that she was going to kill it from just the way she went into this. And I think she did. It was really cool to see her come full circle with this, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I've been loving like when she got her repackage on SmackDown and her that amazing new entrance. Like you can tell how much more confidence she has these days, and it's great. I love it.
I can't wait to see that on Total Divas. I would assume time-wise it's coming up very soon.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to John's set visit. John,
Her man, John.
Oh,
Not
her,
John
oh, he
Cena,
comes
but
to
her
visit.
man.
Yes, okay. Because we didn't see Cena this episode,
No,
as you pointed
he's
out.
not.
That's right. Oh, he didn't come visit. He promised to do that. He bought the ticket.
It's
We'll
a
see.
long
Oh,
shoot.
we're
This
still
is
there?
only
Okay.
day one of the shoot. This is only her first walking through the bar angry scene. She hasn't even delivered a line yet. She had a bunch of lines.
She didn't ride that motorcycle yet.
Yeah.
Did anyone notice the like mold outside of Maurice's trailer?
Yes.
No?
It was like a full body mold. It didn't have her head or her
Oh, I
arms.
thought
but
you
it
meant
was
like mold.
No, it was like her
green
whole like
growing
bust and
mold.
legs and like
Yeah.
probably to make the legs,
Prosthetics,
the prosthetic
yeah.
legs
That was
blow
the
off.
rest of the body?
But I was like, "There's a what is that? What is that?" Caught my attention definitely. Headless and armless, Maurice naked. It was weird.
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 Yakita in the chat says Naomi kills everything. Nobody can do the entrance like she does. Joseph says Trinity kicked butt in the scene they showed. Wonder how many more episodes will be filmed on the set of Marine 5. So we know one for sure.
I think we'll get a couple more on the set.
Yeah, there's too many people there.
Yeah,
that we care about at
this
this
is a
point.
big
There's a
arc
bunch
for
of-
people.
There's a bunch of the crew there.
Oh, that too. That too. They didn't haul everybody all the way to Canada for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, is there
Mark
anything?
Carano's probably directing it. Like, cut, that sucked.
More bad news.
Carano out.
Do you guys have anything that you'd like to add about this episode? Season 6, episode 6. Too many
It was
cooks.
great. I loved it. Mutton busting took me back. My dad was a cowboy, so definitely.
For realsies?
Yep, for sure.
I never heard it.
I never heard of that.
Yeah,
I was
but
like,
I never
what?
heard of that.
As soon as they said it and I saw the picture, it all made sense.
Awesome.
So is it only
It's
for
mini-
children?
Yeah, it's the children's, like, they have
that's
to
adorable.
rope a lamb.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny rodeo.
That picture of
So
them as
lambs-
kids was so cute.
Because, you know, like, a calf comes out of the chute and it just, like, tears ass, but a lamb will just, like, wander around so kids can just chase after it and be like, "Meow."
Oh.
That's so horrible but cute.
And they have, like,
Same time.
they also have, like, goat riding competitions for kids and stuff, yeah.
Go. Oh, don't they buck a lot? Like in the
Well, yeah,
like, back legs?
but not like a horse
Can't
or
buck.
a
Okay.
bull.
I got bucked off a
Right.
horse as a child and I'm
Yeah, me too.
traumatized forever. So.
Well, maybe in a few years we'll be seeing the Bree and Brian doing that with their daughter on Total Bellas.
No doubt.
About
We'll see
season
that
3 or
their
so, 4.
ripped ass daughter chopping wood.
Have you guys
Well,
seen
let's-
JJ's baby?
DJ.
Oh,
JJ's
JJ's baby.
On Instagram,
Lots of
it's
photos
so
on
cute.
Insta.
So it makes me think that Bree's baby is going to be just as cute.
Oh,
Well,
sure.
let's talk about Bree's bun in the
Okay.
oven. Let's move on to our news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
The Bellas are killing it on that brand new YouTube channel with already over 168,000 subscribers, and there is such great stuff there. They showed she and Brian a few days ago going to their first 3D ultrasound to see the baby for the first time. Bree said, "We are so excited," and when they got there, it was the cutest thing. The baby was in this weird pose, kind of had its legs up over its head, and Brian joked that it was a jujitsu pose and that they were going to start training her as soon as she gets out of the womb. Also said the baby has long limbs like daddy, and their next sonogram is in January, so I'm sure we'll be seeing that too. But this was really cute. If you guys haven't checked out this video, make sure you go and see it. Did I miss anything? I know you
No, I
watched.
saw it and I thought it was so cute. But yeah, it was like I don't know if they call it the wheelbarrow in yoga, but yeah, when your legs
Okay.
go all the way behind you and like your toes kind of touch the floor behind your shoulders is like the pose she was in. Really cute.
It was cute. She was sucking her thumb too. Be careful with that. I sucked my thumb till I was like 12. You gotta shut that down now, guys. Shut it down. Shut it down. Well, big news for the Total Divas show. You probably noticed tonight the show has been moved an hour later and now airs at 8 Central. So make sure you don't miss it. And we are at a special time tonight just for the holidays, but we will be going back to, I always have to think about it, to our time of 9 p.m. Pacific. So we'll see you at that time in a couple of weeks. Renee Young had a big week on WWE's SmackDown. You guys gotta. I know. So this is what we try to do, Bill. We know we're talking to a lot of reality TV fans and wrestling fans out there, and we try to get the wrestling fans over to the WWE Universe side and convince them. So I feel like if they would have seen this go down last night on SmackDown, where The Miz, Maurice's hubby, had an in-ring interview with Renee, and he, at one point, they were talking about Dean Ambrose, and he said to her, "Well, you seem to be the one who's obsessed with him. You're the one who's sleeping with him." Right? Can you even believe it? I know. How do you all think Renee responded? She slapped him right in the face.
Slapped him right in that dirty, filthy mouth.
Yes, she did. He deserved it, and it was beautiful. This is all, of course, a part of a storyline for WWE, may tie into Total Divas, but either way, it was very good. Renee also gave an interview this week where they asked her, are you prepared to get in the ring and do some wrestling? And she said she's never had any training, but she is prepared to try and really do whatever they need her to do. So stay tuned for that. I think we talked a couple weeks ago about Eva being on the cover of Millennium Magazine this month. She unveiled a second cover. You guys, just look so good. And the interview is juicy. You have got to check that out.
That was the only thing this week was missing was more Eva Marie.
Or any Eva Marie.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't get
We
much
even
of her.
got a little bit of Paige, but no Eva Marie.
We did. They showed a flash of Eva backstage because I
Not
remember
enough?
thinking, no, they did. She was in her gear. It was the red.
Not
little-
enough? Not
Oh,
enough
not
Eva
enough.
Marie?
Oh,
Not
no,
enough Eva
certainly
Marie?
not enough. But I remember thinking like, oh,
Never
so
enough Eva Marie. Where has Jonathan been?
When-
Where are Jonathan and his deep V's?
Jonathan's also
I
great.
need the deep V's.
And they got like puppies around this time that he's taking care of.
Yeah.
Super cute footage that would be.
The puppies probably have some deep V's going on.
You know
Oh.
it. Well, I I just remember thinking when they showed Paige and Eva both in their gear, I was like, oh wow, Paige and Eva wrestling. It's a long time ago. It has been a while since they shot this.
Yeah.
And one more little, I'm really trying to get you guys over. Another little SmackDown tidbit from this week. Carmelo, who we've talked about in our news and gossip on this show, kind of called Nikki out on not being engaged to John yet. They were talking about that's why he won't propose to you. But this all culminated in a storyline that revealed that Natty attacked Nikki Bella several weeks ago backstage at a pay-per-view, and Carmella insists that Natty said things like Nikki's only famous because she's pretty and a lot of really dirty stuff. And Natty called Nikki the B word 2 times on live television. That's the news.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I know, right? It was not like a super women's empowered episode of SmackDown, but they're gonna build themselves back up and it'll be fine. All right, guys, that was fun breaking down the news with you. Now let's do a little bit of total throwback. Bill, this is where we ask a trivia question from a past season.
I'm into it.
We're keeping score. Everybody's doing pretty well. And I have to say, I'm not entirely sure. I think I would call this one a medium difficulty of the question. We start off pretty easy. We've gotten kind of obscure. Let's give Megan a chance to redeem herself on this one.
I tell you what, last season I killed it. This season, no. The dumpster.
Well, I think you're going to do pretty good here because since it's the holiday season, let's talk about a gift that Nikki received from her man since we didn't see him tonight. This was, I believe, a couple seasons ago, not last season. Don't quote me. I don't want to be wrong again. But if you remember, she made a very big deal out of a Louis Vuitton bag that she wanted. It was a special edition. I believe it was like a Karl Lagerfeld anniversary thing. She talked about it the entire episode. Everyone talked about it. Was she going to get it? Do you all recall the price of the bag in question? They said it about 1 million times throughout the episode. It was all about Nikki getting this X amount of dollars worth of bag.
Was that $3,500?
I could see the
Is
bag
that
in my head.
Is that your final answer, Jimbo? I can't wait to hear what the chat roll thinks about this one.
I want to
If it's
say
too
it was
easy.
25, but I can't remember.
2,500?
Yeah. No.
25,000?
25,000.
All
I'm
right.
thinking it's 15,000.
Okay, is that everyone's final answer? Bill Hanstock, welcome to the panel, and congratulations on your first total throwback point. It was a $15,000 Louis Vuitton bag, and I believe in addition to that, she got the other ones that matched. It was a whole
And the
thing.
shoes.
Yes, and like the dog bag. That
Who
was
the
the
hell
whole
needs
thing.
a
I remember-
$15,000?
Hey, it's not a Hermes bag, dude.
What?
Hermes.
He knows.
Hermes.
He knew it was 15 grand, so we're gonna give him that one.
Got it.
I love it. Well, guys, we got a few
What,
more
Hermes
minutes
can't have
left.
bags too?
We got a few more minutes left. Let's do some predictions. I'm so sorry my chat roll froze, and I'm not certain how you all fared in that one, but I know how on point you guys are, so I'm gonna assume that y'all got that one right.
I'm going to start predictions with this whole issue between Paige and Eva, and Paige getting hurt and saying she needed to wear a neck brace but don't tell anyone, and then it cuts to like backstage and she's like, oh, I knew you weren't trustworthy or whatever and all that. You said this in front of production who's filming stuff for your show. There's no way one of those people is not going to go, hey, to another person in production who's going to go, hey, and it's going to get to Carano.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think.
Remember the wardrobe malfunction plan?
I have a feeling where it cut in the trailer, it's gonna pick up with Eva being like, I didn't say shit, but obviously this is how you feel about me, and blah blah blah, and it's just gonna get escalated.
Well, yeah, because those two made up last season, but we haven't seen them interacting at all. We haven't seen Paige interacting with anyone.
Well, Alberto.
I stand corrected. Megan, what do you think's gonna go down next week?
I kind of feel like that is a phony baloney storyline planted by a producer. Is how I'm feeling in my gut. And
Nothing on this show is phony or baloney.
Okay, sure. And with the Brie, John, and Nikki competing comment, I think that's just like her like silly comeback for Nikki always picking on, her and Brian, saying like, you're changed because of Brian. So I think this is Brie's comeback. Like, you're trying to compete with John. And I don't think it holds much water.
Okay.
What about wine?
But yes, but it holds wine. But I'm ching.
What do you think, Bill?
We're making predictions about what's going to happen next week?
Yeah.
Based on that little sting at the end?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know what happened.
Oh, this is a thing that we do on like reality TV after shows and
That's
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
No,
you
that's
guys
great.
don't
I
predict
like
on
it.
NXT?
Paige is going to wear a snake at some point.
That's not a euphemism.
And I don't think it's going to factor into her injury.
Okay.
There was something else that happened. So they did the Eva Marie
was
and
trying to
Paige
remember.
thing that happened.
Right.
What was the other? They teased another story. That was gonna
Well,
happen.
Bella
Nikki and Brie were having a meeting about starting a vineyard.
There's
possibly?
something
Or
about Natty. Oh, yeah, starting a wine line.
Wine line.
Was there something with Natty? Our DVR cuts off right at the end, guys.
Sometimes we miss the whole thing.
we don't always see the whole preview.
Wine line. That's interesting. Like, yeah. I mean, I think probably the big story for next week is going to be Paige and Eva, and I agree with both of you. And I think that it's bunk, and it's not going to end up being much of anything.
No.
But this is going to be the beginning of the Paige injury storyline, which we've been waiting for. Continues to play out over. Man, do you think they're going to get into like the stabbing and like?
No.
I hope so.
No.
I don't know. They
think
have
they'll
those
touch
pictures
that.
where they're public all over the place. They almost have to. If it goes even that far in the timeline.
Well, Alberto did say that they don't have. Alberto said that they don't have the right to use his image
he
or
he left, I think,
voice
and that's when he was gone.
his image,
But maybe
yeah.
maybe they have her talking about it. You never know.
she just comes in. She's like, "It was crazy, you guys. I'll bet I got stabbed."
That's all we get. I didn't stab him. I swear it wasn't me. Well, I think
This guy just came out with a knife, right?
I think Nikki and
Trinity's prop
Brie.
knife.
Yeah, we'll see which version of the story it was
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, I
right?
was
Was it
gonna
the
say.
homeless guy or the fender bender or someone who
So
disrespected
many
Paige?
stories.
So many stories with
So
Paige and Del
time.
Rio. I'll tell you where to break them down in just a sec. But I think Nikki and Brie are gonna get super
Drunk?
sloshed.
Yeah.
Yeah, while they're
Brie
gonna be testing
mode.
lines. Brie mode for sure. And I also think the stuff between Eva and Paige is gonna start the beginning of Eva and Maurice sort of being their own little clique. I think we're
They've
gonna
already
see a
started
split.
that, for
yeah,
sure.
we've seen the beginnings of it. So that's what I think's going down.
I'm missing Mandy a little bit.
We did love Mandy. I think Mandy and former AfterBuzz TV host Daria may eventually get their chance on this show. And
They're
I'm
such good
excited.
pals.
They are.
I follow them on Snapchat and I love them.
They
so.
could just have their own spinoff.
Yeah, totally.
The Mandy and
They
Daria
just make
show.
their own. I mean, like Emma made her own cooking show. Come on.
Yes. Oh my God! And
I'm sorry, I mean
you can guess
Tennille.
who'd be here. Ooh, breaking it down on
Whoop.
AfterBuzz TV. I lost my headphones because I'm wearing
Things are
this
getting
silly
wild.
Bella Santa hat. So while I get myself together, why don't you guys tell them where to hit you up over the holidays?
Follow me on Twitter at Jimbo in the Booth. Check out the Xpac 12360 podcast. We had Jerry Lynn on today. It was a great episode. And check out Lucha Underground. We just interviewed Rey Mysterio. That was an awesome interview as well.
Hi guys, it's Megan. I want to say happy holidays, happy new year. We'll see you next year. And you guys can watch my Snapchat, look at my Instagram, tweet me. I'd love to talk to you. It's all at Megan Stecher, and that is spelled MEGANSTECHER.
Awesome. I just want to thank all of you for having me here
thank you,
because I'm
Bill.
so excited to finally be on this panel talking about the best show on television in history. And
He knows how to get ass back.
I write recaps of Total Divas and Total Bellas every Thursday on With Spandex, which is part of uprockswithspandex.com. You can check them out there. And anywhere on social media where you can find me at Sundown Motel.
I love it. We love it. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Thank you to Megan and Jimbo for being here. Shout out to Jennifer Leone, our other panelists. Hello, Paulina. And you guys can always hit me up at Christy Reports on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I made kind of a fun video about Paige and Del Rio's Wild 2017. So if you want to recap all that crazy action, and you know you do, please check it out at youtube.com/Christy Reports. Follow the entire AfterBuzz TV team at AfterBuzz TV for the latest. Have a great holiday, you guys. We will be back in a couple weeks, and we will see you then. Happy holidays. Mwah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.